Real talk. $3 medium Dunkin' refreshers. Tropical guava is delicious. You gotta try it. It's available in 3 different flavors.
I start nursing school in September, and before I sent off my application, I ran it through Grammarly. I graduated with my bachelor's and master's degree before AI really took off, so I'm really excited to use this because it has a plagiarism check, and
if you've been through college, then you know how a pain it can be. It literally fixed all of my mistakes that I had in my resume, and I'm really glad it did that because nursing school is no joke.
About it right now, everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life, underneath it all, everything's actually all right. You're okay. You have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. And if you have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging or painful, it's just a reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself. Because you're worth it. You can have this feeling anytime you choose.
I was gonna start off hot. I promise you I was gonna start off hot. When I say I was gonna start off hot, I was gonna call that something else. I wasn't gonna call it milk.
Hey yo!
I was
all the
I
polls.
wasn't gonna call it milk. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It definitely looked like you had a whole water bottle full of something else. But you know, that's
it was this.
I don't know what that is. You just holding up random stuff. Now you got additives.
He's advertising Sonic for free on the stream.
Drugs and stuff. I don't know.
You was advertising Sonic for free on the stream.
Mm-mm.
They don't sponsor us.
Yeah, no.
What about that Kirkland right there?
He out
This
here.
side.
He out here. What
No,
person?
this side.
I'm talking about.
No. Yeah. So anyway, what's going on, fellas? First of all, let me talk to the audience real quick. Hello, audience. How you doing? All pretty people out here just doing y'all thing, just being amazing. It's all good. I'm glad you're here with us today. And you know what? I hope you enjoy. We're gonna try and make it entertaining, just like usual. But anyway, we apologize for being just a tad bit late, and we thank you for your patience. Now, let's get back to the cast. So, how you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good. Tired as hell.
Tired? Why are you tired?
Got back from the gym.
Huh?
Just got back from the gym.
Your mic's
Oh,
still
yeah?
in there. Yeah, your mic.
You got some gains, bro? Like,
Trying to.
you out here, rah, you know what I'm saying?
Trying to get swole, you know.
Hey, yo, Coop is hilarious. He said,
Trying
I'm
to lose
telling
his
people you
stomach.
called me pretty. See, this is why I enjoy doing what I do. Because, like, between you guys and these guys, like, I promise you, this is actually some of the most fun I have all week.
Well, we do have the best audience.
We
So,
do.
yeah.
So,
We got 7 people in here. Hello, 7 people. How you doing?
hello, 7 people. How you doing?
What we need more than viewers from my tweet blowing up this weekend.
Like when you have a random tweet go viral again, you need to just be like, hey, if y'all gonna be like on here, you just go subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's you just need to pop in
honestly.
a comment.
Just make another tweet that says, if you want to yell at me, come join Start Button.
Yeah, like you want to yell at me, do it in the chat right here.
Yeah, you can come yell at me and then we'll ban you.
Every Tuesday. We live.
You yell at me every Tuesday, 8:30 EST. Let's go.
Thanks.
Well, 8:30-ish EST. There you go.
And then they can call you all the slurs that they want on YouTube.
They can't. They're gonna get banned.
I was gonna say while YouTube terms and conditions get them up out of here.
True.
You don't want that. That's gonna be the spiciest
Yeah, you
show
get
ever. I'm
You get them rage joiners, and then they get banned. But it helps us in the algorithm.
It helps the metrics.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the KPI would be assisted by your viral tweets.
See, they're gonna say something crazy, then I'm gonna have to say something crazy. And then that's
We don't. It's called self-control. You don't feed the trolls.
bro, we're from Jersey.
That's rule number 1.
You don't
clap-
feed the trolls.
We're clapback kings.
Rule number 1 of the
You
internet.
don't feed the trolls. That is rule number 1 of gaming.
We're gonna be like, get that ass, man.
We couldn't go 10 minutes.
I said ass. It's not a curse.
Now you said it twice.
That doesn't flag this. As
Yeah,
far as
that
I know,
doesn't
that
flag
doesn't flag it.
I don't know. Either way, we're sorry, Time. We actually found out that we have a profanity filter. It doesn't work for us, but we have one. Anywho,
Yeah, it's called that demonetization.
It's run,
That's
run by some back alley AI that don't know what curses is. Something.
Yeah.
no, the profanity filter is actually put into effect during our actual videos, but live stream, nobody can censor. Anyway,
So if you look back at previous streams, it censors us? On
No.
curse words? Oh.
No. It's only when Time edits and actually like puts out the
Oh, I'm about to say, I was like, yo, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he does like a run through of like profanity and takes out, a lot of the cursing and stuff, especially within the first 10 minutes. He might let some fly later. But
Well, that screenshot from, from last week, I was like, ooh, yeah.
yeah.
I think it wasn't that bad. What you talking about?
That's the episode where Coop was on. So
That joint
we,
look like
we
a
might have went a little
stock
wild there. We might have went a little wild. But I'm not taking responsibility for none of that. But I did have to apologize to Time for last week. So I apologize ahead of time. Either way, we have been at this for a few minutes, and so I just wanted to kind of let you guys know what we're expecting from the show tonight. Tonight, we're expecting to talk about, what makes a game successful. Is it metrics or is it fun? We play games for fun. I play games for fun. I don't know about everybody else, but very often when it comes down to gaming, we're looking at it from one scope, and the people who are making the games look at it from another scope. So obviously we'll talk about the corporate side of things, and then we're going to talk about the player side of things. But before we get into all of that, I want to start off with our normal question of the night, normal question of the day. So I probably asked something similar to this before, but can you think of a game that you loved that did not do well commercially? And what made it enjoyable for you?
All right, I can think of a couple.
Was it Mega Man 9?
No, but that's sold well. What are you talking about? It was just digital only.
Funny.
Actually, no. I was gonna say that Ninja Theory game that came out on PS3 360, Odyssey: Journey to the West.
Oh,
okay.
That was like a third-person action platformer.
I like Enslaved.
I think that's what I'm thinking. Enslaved. I mixed it up. Yeah, Enslaved. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, Enslaved. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, no.
Heavenly Sword wasn't terrible either. Everybody said it was bad.
That was Ninja Theory as well.
Everybody hated the what?
That was Ninja Theory as well, right?
Heavenly Sword.
I don't know if it was Ninja Theory.
I think it was Ninja Theory too. I think Actually, just put anything Ninja Theory on this list. Basically. Enslaved was dope. Like I just like how it was a retelling of like Journey to the West, which was cool in like a post-apocalyptic world kind of way and stuff like that. Heavenly Sword, I think, just came out too early in the PS3 life cycle because like that game technically did not run great.
Yeah,
but
yes. Now, the one thing I will say about Heavenly Sword is I actually see it get a lot of heat because it was full of QuickTime events. I don't know when we stopped liking QuickTime events and when we started liking it. Because at one point in time, it was yo, this is a cutscene, and then there's a button that you got to press. Oh, snap! You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into Morty's.
I feel like it's a cycle.
Probably. So do you think that Expedition 33 is going to bring back QuickTime events and their popularity?
That's different. It's like, number one, you can actually have the option to turn off QuickTime events.
The option to turn them off? No, you have the option to auto succeed.
Auto succeed. So essentially, you're not having to do it anyway.
Then are you? I mean, yeah, sure, but then are you really getting the experience that you need to get? Like,
nope.
I mean, it's an accessibility feature to some people who can't do that sort of context sensitive.
I'm gonna keep my hands down because what I was gonna do is not gonna be
time-based mechanic. It's an accessibility feature.
I need accessibility.
I think that's a good one. I don't know if it's beating Doom, the Dark Ages in accessibility features, but it's pretty good.
You might have to tell me something about Doom, the Dark Ages accessibility features.
You can change the parry time, the parry window, to whatever you want. You can actually change the enemy damage. How much they damage to you, how much damage you do to them.
You can change how fast enemy projectiles fly at you. You can make it whether make it easier or harder. Like you could do like all those settings you can make the game easier or harder however you want with like a slider. So you can make it so you take double damage or you take half damage, or you can make it so you take like 5 times as much damage. It's crazy.
You can increase the game speed.
Yeah, because a lot of people complain it's too slow, and it's like, all right, just pump it, and it affects the whole game speed, your movement, how fast you reload, how fast enemy moves. You can do like 200-300%, and it's like, hey, if you want to be faster like old school Doom, do it. Like
literally, it feels like you have mods, but you don't have mods.
That's crazy because that means that they're trying to play Quake.
You can,
yeah, you can basically turn it into Quake or Unreal Tournament. You basically can.
Yeah.
So your game was Enslaved. What was yours?
I don't know the sales numbers on it, but I'd have to say Evil Zone.
Are you talking about the Square Enix fighting game type thing?
No, that was Ear Guys. Ergot.
Oh, that was Ergot.
I mean, I like that one too, even though it was kind of clunky. But
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how well, and this was way back in the day. I'm about to date myself a little bit, but Bushido Blade.
that was a great game.
It was a great game.
That game was
Bushido
fire.
Blade was a fun as hell game.
I don't know how good or bad it was as far
Yeah.
as like metrics go.
Now again, Evil Zone, I'm pretty sure it didn't sell too well because there wasn't. I'm like one of the few people who actually knows about that game. Not a lot of people know about it.
I mean, if I see it,
It
I
was a
might.
dope ass. It was a dope. It was a dope 3D fighter. That was like all heavily anime and everything. Like even all the cutscenes were animated.
I
Yeah,
think I know exactly what it is that you're talking about. I think I played that game.
I
'Cause it
love
was-
that game.
It's the same people that made like it's such a weird departure, but it's the
Street
same
Fighter
people.
EX plus Alpha.
Well, they also made. You remember that game Rumble Roses, the
Yes.
women's wrestling game? Yeah, same
That was
developers.
them?
That yep, same developers.
No, I was gonna say like Street Fighter EX plus Alpha was actually probably one of the worst commercially received Street Fighter games. I love that game.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Literally spent an entire
Yeah.
summer in a garage playing that game on a little CRT television because it was summertime, so we didn't want to sit outside in the heat. Plus, the garage had a plug in it, and we couldn't be in somebody's house all day long. So we just sat in the garage and we played Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. Garuda was my dude. And
Skullomania. Yep.
Yeah, the
But, you know.
backlash that game got was really dumb.
Okay. All right, Coop. I see you. PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Ooh,
Oh, I played the hell out of
you
that.
know what?
Foam
I love that
Stars.
game too.
We played Foam Stars for a bit.
Yeah, honestly,
I
Foam
still
Star
get
is
the
pretty
try
fun.
Yeah, so I think we got a nice little and I'm gonna keep on hammering this one home because I still don't understand why it got the reputation as one of the worst games ever. Anthem.
Yes, but it,
My
didn't, it
60
wasn't.
to 70 hours say that the game is decent. When you go on TikTok, there's people right now
Yeah, there's people
that are
still live streaming
still
it.
playing Anthem live. Like they're literally on TikTok live playing Anthem. And people are in the chat like, yo, what game is this? What game is this? This game looks fun. Yeah, it was one of those games that y'all marked as one of the worst games to ever exist.
Now we're not getting the sequel. We're not getting no updates.
I mean,
no nothing. They were
We're
like,
not
nope.
getting a sequel because of EA. I
Yeah.
think that rather than, them not actually, enjoying the game or whatever, they just chose to stop supporting it. And the lack of support thereof is exactly why the game failed. Because if it got the proper support, I think, and if it got everything that it promised, a couple of patches, that game would have been in good shape. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
We just have to kind of get us away from that repetitive gameplay loop that happened Endgame or whatever. You could tweak the ratios of the legendary drops, give us the rage that you promised, and we're good. We're
Mind
good.
you, they were supposed to be working on Anthem next and just drop that.
BioWare
about
went
that.
through way too many damn what are we doing now issues the past like 5-6 years.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted that game to work out so well because like this is my jam. It's an MMO looter shooter where you have mech suits and you fly around like Iron Man. Like who doesn't
See,
want that?
that's the thing. So, and don't kill me here. So, games like Armored Core are fun.
Mhm.
Mech Assault, Armored Core, just stuff like that in that mech realm. But they don't scratch a certain itch. They don't scratch the itch of I want to play a game that makes me feel like Iron Man. And Iron Man did not scratch that itch either.
Yeah, even the Iron Man VR game was like,
However, Deus Ex Machina Ex Machina, Daemon Ex Machina 2.
but that
They're
felt
using
more like Armor Core.
exosuits now.
But that felt like more like Armor Core.
Yeah, but now they're exosuits instead of mechs.
I think it depends how the new it's like not even it's a pseudo sequel like remake, right? Like it's not even a full I forget.
I thought it was a sequel.
Mm-mm. But like the fact of the matter is that like you want to feel like Iron Man, and you want to be able to fly around and do all your little thingies, and then there's some. And Anthem kind of scratched the itch that people had, and so it had it executed properly for the most part. Like, sure, the fighting can get a little repetitive after a while. You might get a little tired, but the game was good enough for me to finish.
I colored my suit.
And we know I don't beat games.
Proud of you.
Like, I wonder how long it's going to take me to beat Expedition 33. I don't know.
Yeah, this is the man that gave up
Monster Hunter
on.
I'll probably beat eventually, but
Yeah, this is the man that gave up on Division 2.
I mean, we all gave him a Division 2 because of that from decisions beyond our control.
I mean, I went back to it after, like,
I beat the Division
years
2
afterwards. Yeah, and then you just quit before we got to do Endgame.
I beat the game.
Endgame wasn't good.
You quit before we do Raid.
Apparently the new update coming out is gonna be good from what previews are saying, but who knows?
Yeah, like we stopped Endgame. Like it took them
Return to New York
9 years to do a good DLC. Like,
Return to New York is pretty good too.
But the whole fact of the matter is, I went back to Division when Return to New York came out, and it was just like, all right. But the Division 1 is the Division 1. Like, Division 2 is in no way better than the Division 1. Like, even when they put in the survival mode on Division 1, I played the crap out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were over here, like, really doing survival teams in the Division.
I'm telling you, the thing that ruined that game, the location. Like, it's the location.
I don't know. It feels like the execution.
It's hard to get into because, like, who wants to go through DC? Nobody does.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Except maybe Wale, but
I can see that. But if you still had the same implementation and you put it in, like we were talking about doing, like Rio or something, or like Japan, like the execution and the gameplay loop ain't good. It don't matter where it's set.
I thought most people had a problem with the raids being like way too hard. That's why a lot of people quit.
I mean, people. All right, people don't know what they like when it comes to challenges because on one hand, everything is becoming a Souls-like, and then on the other hand, other games are too hard. So people don't really understand and know what they actually want and like when it comes to challenges, and that's just. Coop said, "Why play the Division Endgame when you can play Warframe and get new Space Ninjas?"
I mean, I'm not even a Warframe guy, but yeah, like they're constantly adding stuff in the game for you to do. It's like
that's a actual perfect. That's a perfect trend. That's a perfect way to understand and like exactly what we're talking about today. What makes a game good? Like the games that you name that you love that didn't do well. Why do you think they didn't do well?
It was niche, I guess. For Evil Zone, I guess it was niche and probably like limited release.
Evil Zone was a combination of a couple things, like very limited copies on release. At the time, no name developer, and like it had no word of mouth. I think I saw maybe like one ad for it in a Game Informer, or like a random I think
I did too.
Game Game Pro and a random like little middle of the pack page of the magazine, but it's like no one knew about it.
Yeah, I went and got it. And
internet wasn't that crazy back then to find out about these games, so it's like that was something you had to just see in the store, and be like, okay, it was back in the day where you had no idea what you was going to get. You had to look at the game, and be like, yeah, I'll give this a shot, and then hope you wasn't wasting $50.
Yeah.
So do you think that reviews have like an impact on how well a game moves, how well it sells?
I wouldn't say reviews necessarily. I would say just making people aware the damn game exists. Like you can't buy it if you don't. Can't buy it if you don't know about it.
True. Like right now, we're in the middle of Summer Games Fest, right? So, or if we're not in the middle of it,
it's technically like today. Real stuff starts tomorrow, but it's technically
right.
started.
Like it started. Like we're already in full swing where we're gonna start getting all the announcements for Summer Games Fest. So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry that we are here a day early for all of the PlayStation showcases and everything else that gets revealed throughout the course of this week. And then, of course, I believe it's tomorrow night, midnight, you have the Switch 2 dropping.
Yep.
And GameStop is actually hosting a midnight release for the first time in like
Best Buy is too. I got emails saying like check your local Best Buy for midnight release events, and I'm like,
that's crazy.
Okay.
Wait, so
They ain't done a midnight release for anything in like
I
years.
don't gotta do nothing. Mine's getting delivered.
I got a friend who's actually going to Nintendo directly to get it. His fiance got a
Nintendo store in New York.
I guess she got. Well, he lives in New York, so
Okay.
And then he said that his cousin also got an invitation to go buy it direct, but so he might have an extra night. If he got an extra, then I might have to check him out. Depends. I'm not really too keen on buying a Switch 2 right now. Like, it's like, what would I play on it?
$80 games.
Nah, I'm not. Gonna I'm gonna.
My bad. I mean $90 games.
I'm gonna play free games on it. Pokemon Unite.
Go see Pokemon Unite, but prettier.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know that.
I don't
That's
even-
probably not gonna be an upscale game.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna upscale that.
Because if you don't upscale that, if you don't make it perform better, I'm probably not gonna waste my time. Cause yeah, right now I got better version of Tears of the Kingdom already, and you know I don't have to worry about that device getting bricked. I'm saying,
Allegedly.
I never said I had Tears of the Kingdom on another platform. I said I got better version of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, the Switch One version.
No, it could be a different game. It's y'all are out here making me sound like a pirate.
I mean,
Anyway.
honestly, that's where I thought you was going. Not gonna
Yeah, I
lie.
like to go with that. So what's the better version of Tears of the Kingdom then?
Stop asking questions.
You said
Are we
you had,
trying to absolve me of pirate or not?
you said you had a better version of it. No. We don't ask questions. We That
just go.
$70 version. I was wild that they charged that much, bro. That's crazy.
I mean, at the end of the day, I paid for Tears of the Kingdom. So, you know, for me to say something like I got a better version of Tears, like even if I did, I paid for that.
I did that double game bundle because that was one of the best things Nintendo was doing. Buy 2 games for $100.
Kinda, because I mean, at least then you got 2 games for 50 apiece. You know, if you look at it, you know, with some kind of retrospection.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so let's go into the nitty gritty of tonight. We are about to transition into talking about what makes games successful on a corporate side. So it'll basically be, we're going to discuss metrics, right? So in a normal, like, NV, this is for you, just so you know, mark this number. But in a normal working world, right? I'm sure we've all worked a corporate job, and or some kind of job where they keep track of how you perform, how you work, how you do things, or whatever. They hold you to things like SLAs and KPIs. Companies explore daily metrics like daily active users, monthly active users, and in the gaming industry, they have retention rates, you know, even things like average revenue per user. And those different factors determine whether or not a game is successful. You know, even for other products, services, things of that nature, like KPIs are basically key performance indicators that all companies use, and they just name them or they label them under different subdivisions. So, you know, if your KPIs are going to be your daily active users, or your monthly active users, or, you know, things like that. Like for a battle royale game, it's how many people are using this, how many people are doing that, what mode works the best, what's getting the most people. You know, when it comes to fighting game, which character is getting picked the most, which character is getting complained about the most. When it comes to balancing, what weapon is being used the most? Like, is this OP? Is this not OP? Is this underperforming? Things like that.
Gotcha games. Is it how many whales do we have?
They track that. Yeah, they track that.
Actually, that is part of the gotcha metric.
I was making a joke. I didn't know.
That's
How much
dead serious.
people are spending to pull on a character, or how much people are spending to pull a weapon.
That's wild.
You know, especially when you hear that this is good or this is good. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and this is something that's probably gonna come in later. But YouTubers, when it comes to the gacha space, YouTubers are a big promotion for your game because they're gonna get in the test servers, they're gonna get in the betas, they're gonna tell you who to pick, they're gonna tell you what the meta was during the closed beta, CBT, whatever, like closed beta tests. They're gonna tell you who they like the best. They're gonna tell you who to pull for. They're gonna direct you on where to spend your in-game currency. And they also usually have a separate notification for if you're a whale. And if you're a whale, you spend and you pull whatever you want. But this would be how you either pay to win, or this is if you're free to play, who you should use that you're guaranteed to have.
Yeah.
So I think that using these metrics is essentially how companies determine a game's success. I also think that in this gaming world, this is what they use to determine whether they're going to make sequels, DLCs, expansions for the games that we play. And again, we've also given news a few times that various studios have shut down, are in financial trouble, have gotten acquired, games have been canceled, all due to games failing to meet these metrics that are set forth by the companies that put millions of dollars and years into the development of these now getting more and more expensive games. So when it comes to the metrics for success, right? And now here's your curveball question, because now we're going to utilize a metric that probably can't be quantified. Is Game Pass something that they can add into these metrics? Can they quantify Game Pass downloads, Game Pass users, how long people keep a game on Game Pass, etc.? Like, how does Game Pass fall into this element?
I think they're definitely tracking they're probably tracking a couple different things. They probably see do Game Pass subscriptions go up with a certain release, like with Doom: The Dark Ages, Inside the Midnight, Expedition 33. Like, how many subscriptions did they get, whether it be for a month, 3 month, year, whatever like that. They can probably also see how much people are playing, because like Xbox already tracks your gameplay time, so they can see how much time is people actually putting in these games that they download. Because they can probably see you look at my account, Ryzen downloaded Expedition 33, put whatever 50 something hours, 50 hours in Expedition 33, 60 hours into it. They can track all that.
Yeah, they definitely track how many users are playing said game too.
So Game Pass can track this. Do they give these metrics to the companies, to the developers?
I think they did, because there was like an article talking about like how low, quote unquote, Doom sold. But it's like, yeah, I think they said like 78% of users were playing it on Game Pass.
Well, we're gonna actually talk about Doom: The Dark Ages really shortly. So,
all right.
I mean, I can see that. So if a game is successful on Game Pass, but it doesn't sell like a whole bunch of copies or have a large number of concurrent players on Steam, does that mean it failed on the PC?
According to YouTubers and Twitter, it does. But,
bro, I hate Steam charts, bro. It has literally ruined.
It's supposed to be a fun little thing, just check some numbers, but then people are now trying to use that as an excuse to not play games now, or use that.
So is that our metric for PC success? Because we don't know what. No, when I say our, I mean the gamers metric for PC success.
for some reason, like it like de facto did like, and I get why Steam's the biggest like storefront on PC, so that's where most of the data is from. But like Game Pass does this, and even for the people out there, a lot of people still mainly buy games on Epic Games Store. Those are also numbers are taken into account. People that buy stuff on the EA app, it's not a lot, but it counts. Ubisoft Connect counts too.
Yep.
Good GOG, good old games. There's a lot of games that you can play on Steam, specifically on GOG. That's not tracking those numbers too. Now, all these numbers aren't going to be anywhere near Steam, obviously, because Steam is like Colossus in the space, but there's numbers that aren't accounted for. So it's just like, but people using that to end all be all is annoying to see sometimes.
Yeah, like people were shitting on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's just like
we're gonna talk about that too.
You can get that on Uplay. Unless you've seen the Uplay numbers, which they don't release Uplay numbers at all.
They don't.
Same thing with EA Play. EA doesn't release their numbers at all either.
Okay. So do you think Game Pass is doing a good thing for gaming? Like, all right, let me give an example. One of the first video streaming platforms is Netflix.
Yep.
Netflix came to be known as, you know, a video rental. Then it turned into a video streaming, and then you had option for both. It shut down Blockbuster. It changed the way that it changed the face of, you know, rentals. It changed the face of how we consume temporary media when it comes to movies. But Netflix also pioneered that type of service. And so once Netflix saw a certain level of success, you then saw Netflix's clones pop up. So you have your Hulus, you have your Maxes, you have your Disney Pluses, you have all these various services popping up. Paramount Plus, Tubi, Vudu, you name it.
Even Fandango has like a thing now.
Crunchyroll technically counts as that too.
Okay. But then doesn't that mean that Crunchyroll was first?
Crunchyroll is definitely first for anime exclusive, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying
like did Crunchyroll exist before Netflix?
I don't think it did.
Because there was a Funimation, whatchamacallit? Because remember, Funimation had a channel.
Came after.
Huh?
Didn't Funimation come after Crunchyroll?
I was going to say Funimation had a channel. Because when I first got Verizon Fios, I actually had the Funimation channel. And then they took the channel away, and that was when they started doing their streams. I'm waiting for Rajan to get the numbers.
I'm trying to find
the dates. What existed first, the chicken or the egg? Or should I say Crunchyroll or Netflix? Because that's actually a good question. Sup, Leona?
And of course, they're going by like when Netflix became a streaming service, not so much Netflix.
Correct.
Itself.
Not Netflix as a company's establishment, but when did Netflix start streaming, and then when did Crunchyroll start streaming?
Crunchyroll first allowed streaming in 2006. Netflix.
The moment of truth. What was Crunchyroll doing before they were streaming?
Netflix launched streaming in January 07.
Crunchyroll
was first.
Look at God. So yes, but I'm when I say that Netflix is the pioneer, it's not because they were first. It was because they're what made it popular.
They solidified that it was a good business practice.
Correct. They actually put the footprint into the sand and made everybody look at it. Crunchyroll had been walking on that sand for a little while already,
but it hadn't done movies.
Right.
That was
Crunchyroll was literally there for animation, Japanese animation specifically. So it was
at that time it was still niche.
Yes, it was the evil zone of streaming services.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I remember when Crunchyroll first launched, I thought it was like craziest thing ever because they had like most of the Gundam series as like the launch library and stuff. I was like, oh man, Zeta Gundam. I haven't watched this in a minute, so I did that.
Right. And Crunchyroll, I feel, and now I'm not speaking facts, I feel that Crunchyroll was kind of like the industry's last ditch effort to get us away from, illegal streaming sites for animation.
Yeah.
This way, it's actually having Crunchyroll and having Funimation and Crunchyroll having finally fully combined actually, got me to be like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get me a Crunchyroll and I'm going to just pay for it every month. And
you ain't have a choice.
My stuff. I got a choice.
Technically, legally, you don't have a choice.
I mean, unless he wants to wait for physical media, but that takes a while.
But
legally, I don't have a choice. Sure.
If you want anime, you gotta go through Crunchyroll now.
Like, where you gonna watch the anime?
Or
we're gonna watch
Amazon,
the anime, son, on your website? That's what I thought.
Or Prime Video, because surprisingly, Prime Video has a lot of like 90s and 80s anime on there. I was like, yo, I'm actually surprised at the list of stuff that they have on Prime Video.
I don't know if I can be honest here. Yeah, I don't know if I can be honest here. That show that you got behind your head, I don't watch on Prime Video.
I do though. For legal people out there, I do. I watch it on my Prime Video account.
I'm just like old country bumpkin into a master swordsman. Don't watch it on Prime Video.
Man, I've tried to give you like a lifeline, and you just, man.
I never said where I watch it, but I don't watch it there.
I can't wait today we can have a legal team to just shut you up midway. No.
Like, shut up.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You would need a legal team to shut me up.
Yes, because eventually we'll have to get one.
I mean, yeah, that's true. So now, with all of that being said, right? If Game Pass is doing such a good thing for gaming, if every company made a Game Pass style service, you sign up for it?
Nah.
The same way that we signed up for all of these movie streaming platforms?
Nah.
No?
Absolutely not.
But what if they offer different things? Like Game Pass would have blah, 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 blah. But then like I'm not saying like Game Pass, Square Enix, UB, EA, blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? But like, what if games stop being available for purchase? Because remember, we have discussed in the past that we have to get used to the idea of renting our games. So what if games no longer were at a point where it's like you pay $70 for this game because you don't actually fully own it ever. And now we're going to put this on our platform, and the only way that you're going to be able to play this game and have access to it for any period of time is to play it on our streaming platform or on our provided platform.
Well, I guess I have to find a new hobby then.
That's crazy. So you wouldn't sign up for PlayStation Pass?
If it was the only way to play games?
Nintendo Pass?
Bro, this makes me sick to my stomach thinking about that.
Yeah, that's mad dystopian. Like not owning, basically, effectively, it's like, hey, you don't own any games anymore.
Bro, because streaming sucks now.
But we're there. We're already there.
Not yet. I mean, movie and TV wise, yeah, and it sucks. We basically just we came around
So
and
you
had
don't think we're there with games yet?
Wait, what?
You don't think we're there with games yet?
Not yet.
We're almost there.
We're almost.
Can you please explain to me how we're not already there with games?
Because you can still buy games.
Where?
You can physically buy games.
You can physically buy games.
Yes.
Have you ever deconstructed what's on the actual physical disc?
Okay, you know what I mean. Like, there's a physical version of the disc of the game to like install it and all that.
Yeah, but we're getting to the point now where they get locked on those discs soon.
Yeah.
Like
I
when
don't like
say,
it, but I hate it. But like, it's a
that's
bullshit.
what I'm
that we're
saying.
going towards.
We're physically buying games to. We're
To
literally
download it.
buying a physical disc that only has an installer,
Or in Nintendo's case,
and we're still getting it online.
I hate this so much,
Yeah.
bro.
Nobody likes where we going.
Like, they already done ruined movies and TV. Like, bro, I've missed the days when everything was so simple and it was just like we just had Netflix. Okay, cool. I was like, I'm cool with this. There's movies, there's some TV shows. I'm fine with that. I can, you know what? I don't miss cable. I just have Netflix. I'm happy with that, right?
Guess what?
Maybe-
People are missing cable now.
Maybe I'll dabble, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, people are missing cable now. So yeah, we didn't miss
knew
cable
it-
for a little
you
while
knew what
because
you were gonna
Netflix
get.
had so much. But now people are missing cable because if you go and sign up for all these different services, it costs you more than cable.
Yeah, like I hate that they chopped up the entire entertainment industry into all these different like friggin' districts now to yet go to and buy. Like, bro, it feels like I'm in the world of Avatar. Here's the Paramount Kingdom. Here's the Sony Kingdom. Here's the Disney Kingdom. Here's the HBO Kingdom. Like, bro, like, come on. I just want things to be simple again. Just like, I get everybody wants money out of this. But come
And
on.
what better way to guarantee that you get some money than a monthly subscription? Because getting our money from the cable companies wasn't good enough. Because you had to pay for HBO packages, you had to pay for Showtime and Cinemax and all of that stuff, and all of these companies started combining. And soon enough, there's going to be one media conglomerate that owns them all.
I mean, look at how we consume.
Looking at you,
music now.
AOL Time Warner.
Yes. Look at how we consume music now.
All streaming. Most
honestly,
only
think about
place,
the last-
only
Somebody
place you
went and
can-
bought a CD.
the only place you can, I was about to say, the only place you can get music CDs now is FYE. If your state still got one, like they reopened the one near us because they closed for a couple years.
What?
Yeah, there's
I
FYE.
mean, I'm near mall, so
Target?
you know,
Target still has CDs, and
Walmart and Target, I think, have records.
Walmart. I think they have both.
Walmart's
still.
got
I
a
think
big vinyl section now.
That's what I'm saying. They got records.
everything's going back to vinyl now. Like Target has a huge vinyl section, so does Walmart. But they have they only have the big release CDs, like when Taylor Swift's album came out. Like they had the CDs for that at Target and Walmart. I saw that, but it's only like seems like certain artists. Like it seems like they only got the top artists.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find anything below like Billboard top.
You're not
like,
gonna find
25.
Scare in the Hose Volume 1 on vinyl, sadly. Which, by the way, check that album out, y'all. It's a good album. I'm not paid by Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia.
Who's David Brown?
Danny Brown.
Danny Brown. Oh, okay. So using these metrics, how do you think they change gameplay?
I think that's the reason why we get so many cookie cutter games. People say like when you have there is some truth people saying like all games are the same when they say there's nothing to play because so many companies keep making games that they think they can like when PUBG popped off, everyone was like, oh damn, we got countered PUBG, and it's like, but I'm already playing PUBG. Why would I want to
play a clone?
Why would I play a different PUBG if I already like PUBG? Like
Unless
that's not.
you're Fortnite.
I mean, Fortnite was already its own thing, and then it copied what PUBG had. Remember, it was a co-op survival game at first.
Yes. That's
And
what
then-
I was actually interested. The original version of it. I was like, oh, this
But
looks cool.
that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I was just like, all right. PUBG, it gets a bad reputation now because it looks grody, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it got the job done for what it was supposed to do.
The pioneer of the battle royale thing.
Or with these metrics now, they make they make companies play it safe. They don't want to experiment anymore. Or they don't want to put funding into smaller projects that are literally experimental and may or may not be a smash hit. I think that might change now because like games like Expedition 33 and what's another one that's coming out that's like smaller too, but like did really well. But it already came out this year. It was like smaller but did really well. Trying to think.
Nicholas, first of all, welcome. Second of all, I wanted to let you know, even if you didn't get a letter to purchase, there have been plenty of emails going out, and Nintendo has been stating that they're trying to combat the scalping. So you don't have to buy on the secondhand market, that they're going to be attempting to keep up with the demand. So GameStop is going to be doing midnight releases. We actually just mentioned that a few minutes ago, as well as Best Buy. So if you have an opportunity, then try to get your Switch. If you really want to switch to, those are places that you need to look into, like I said, on release day, because it's not going to be just pre-order.
Did they take the money out your account already?
No, he said he never got a letter to purchase.
Oh.
Yeah, like I think he was trying to go through the Nintendo thing where you sign up to get the purchase link and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, so if we're using metrics to essentially change gameplay, do you think that character and weapon usage actually matter, or is it just?
Yeah, it does, because that's how they end up nerfing weapons in Warframe.
True. So
this,
and they actually did it for Expedition 33 too. They saw.
Oh yeah, that there was a build,
the crazy one-shot build.
Well, the thing was, for me, it wasn't usage. That was, this is broken.
But they saw a lot.
Broken.
But then once the floodgates opened, people saw like, oh, here's how you build this one-shot build for all the end game bosses, and then everyone copied it. And they're like, yeah, we wanted you guys to break the game, but not that much. So we're gonna dial this one back a little bit.
Yeah, they do. They do similar stuff in Warframe. It'll see like, hey, all these people are using a lot of this weapon, and they're not using any of these other weapons. Which again, my solution, I think, to that is buff all the other stuff. Just leave it, unless it's like seriously game breaking. Just buff the other stuff. Buff everything up.
No, I just got like a do nothing until then from Nintendo follow-up type letter, but I didn't put money in yet.
Okay.
Wait, what? I don't know what he's talking about.
No, I'm just saying, like, so he got a letter that says, you can't buy it right now, but don't do anything right now, because you're gonna be able to buy it from us soon.
Okay.
But he didn't put his money in, so he's free to do whatever he wants whenever.
I mean, to be fair, it probably shouldn't be that hard to get one, because like it didn't seem like people were as fanatical this time, like the Switch.
I think the only reason that the pre-order sold out like they did was for scalp.
Probably in a little bit of FOMO. Some people. I think like it's not. I think it's gonna just. I can't see there being supply issues like there was with the Switch 1.
No, because they said that they're actively working against scalp.
And like how crazy people were going over to Switch 1, because there isn't really a killer app right now for the Switch 2 that's going to make people go, oh, I gotta get it. You know what I mean? I think people are going to be like, I can wait till like winter. Unless they release something like super crazy this year. Like stupidly crazy that's going to make it fly off the shelves. Like Mario, I think would have been that thing to make a lot of people buy it en masse. Like people like Donkey Kong, but like let's be real, like who's Donkey Kong over Mario? I like Donkey Kong more than Mario, but like the average person doesn't.
Right. He said, but when they send something out, I have 72 hours to follow through, or the reserve is canceled.
Oh, okay. So you're still reserved. It's just they ran out.
You're basically just in a slot till it's your turn to buy. Got it.
You're on a wait list, basically.
Essentially, that's what it sounds like. So yeah, having a wait list is decent.
I mean, that's not bad.
Okay, now I have a question, and this one's also going to be for our viewers before we move on to our next topic. It's for you guys too. But out of all of the metrics that we stated, so active daily users, active monthly users, retention rates, average revenue per user, what do you think is the most important metric used to determine a game's success from the companies?
Sales. I don't think.
I would say total
Initial sales, because remember that whether or not they make DLCs and expansions and things of that nature, like if your game if your game sells 1 million copies, but people play it for 5 minutes and say this is doo-doo trash, then what?
Suits don't care about that. Like dead ass. I'm being
But
for
it
real.
sold 1 million copies, so just because
They don't care about how long you played it. They just care how many copies were bought.
Yeah, they care about how long it takes them to get their return on investment.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is that they look at stuff like how long you played it, because again, if they can go back and dig into that well again, they're going to.
Nah, man, I don't.
Why not? It's now you have. So this is how you go from this game sold 1 million copies to, hey, people are actually saying this game is good. Let's do it again and again and again. Why wouldn't you keep on milking this one? That's like saying that there's not going to be a sequel to Expedition 33. They're not going to give us Expedition 60, or they're not going to give us Expedition 90, 95, Expedition 0,
Expedition 60. If you know, you know.
But here's the thing. It sold well and lots of people are playing it. The metric, I think, is still the most important thing, is that it sold well. Because here's listen, if a game doesn't sell well, but the people who did buy it play it all the way through, they still gonna be like, well, I don't give a damn. Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah, but
we didn't make our money back.
Selling well and not getting played.
They don't care, bro. They legit do not care. They don't.
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to pop it over in our Discord. Tell us what you think about this one.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. It's the same way with movies. Very similar with movies. They don't care.
Well, they care about movie tickets. They don't care who goes.
They don't care how well it's rated. They don't give a shit about that. Like,
no, it's not, because that's not a metric.
It is. Here's the thing: if opening weekend is fire, like they're making $300 million opening weekend, but people walked out of the theater and didn't even finish the movie, they not gonna care. They got the sale.
They
the
got
same way with games. Weekend.
But here's where the problem comes. Opening weekend was fire, but people walked out the theater. So every other weekend after that flopped.
Well,
the overall sales were in a dumpster.
Let's say it's whole way through, people still steadily bought tickets to see it, despite the fact that they didn't finish the movie and they hated it. Because there's tons of movies that made a ton of money but are trash. Venom 2 is a clear example of that. That movie is awful, and it made a ton of money. And you know I'm right about that.
No, I don't.
Did you not see Venom 2?
I did.
Exactly.
In the theater.
Made $500 million.
In the theater.
Made $500 million. It made Sony feel so bold that they made Morbius.
It's Morbid time.
It didn't more. If I remember correctly, didn't Morbius make a ton of money too?
I don't think it made a ton of money, but Sony was so stupid and like followed the memes. They're really liking this movie. No, sir, they're dunking on the movie. They don't like it. What? There's all these memes everywhere. We have to
re-released it. Now, go to Madam Web. Madam Web did not make a ton of money, and it was poorly received. And it wasn't until after Venom 3 tanked that they're just like, all right, let's just What was it? Either Venom 3 or was it Craven the Hunter? That really sealed that like was the final nail in the
It was
coffin.
Craven. I think they pulled Craven early from theaters.
Yeah, they did. They did because they didn't make a ton of money off of that. But the reason why they felt bold enough to go forward with this entire thing is because Venom 1 did stupidly well. Like, it shouldn't have done as well as it did. But how much did Venom 1 make? It made like 800 million or something like that? Some crazy number?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. Do you know why Sony keeps on digging into this well?
So they can keep the contract.
The rights to Spider-Man?
Yeah. They are literally contractually obligated to put out a Spider-Man
Property.
series movie every 2 years.
But a lot of studios follow the metric of like, hey, this made us a ton of money. Make another one.
Craven didn't even make its budget back.
No.
Craven's budget was 110 million. It made worldwide 62.
Ah, yes! I'm glad that movie failed.
Hoop said Craven was fire.
I mean,
I strongly disagree, but
I mean,
I don't have an opinion.
or let's take for example, Joker. The only reason Joker 2 exists is because the first one did so well.
Right.
The only reason why.
But the first one was actually good.
yeah, and I think the director tanked the second movie just so they would not ask him to make a third one.
Yeah.
I think he did it on purpose. I think that also happened when Matrix 4 came out.
Yep.
They're like, hey, we don't really want to make another Matrix movie, but it would be really good though. It's like, I bet. And then
But didn't like the Wachowski brothers not want to do anything?
the Wachowski
Siblings. Sorry. Siblings. Wachowski siblings.
Sisters.
Sisters.
They're both transitioned.
I said siblings.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever.
Anyway,
It's all inclusive because
I know, but,
But neither one of them wanted to do a new Matrix. One of them completely dropped out of the project.
Yep.
So the other sister just said, like, all right, I'll direct it. But I think she was literally like, I'm gonna tank this so they never ask us again. Because this book was closed. We were done with this series. Like we had nothing else to do with it.
Yeah. I think that's the same thing that happened with Joker 2, but we wouldn't have gotten to Joker 2 if Joker 1 did badly. Let's keep it a buck.
Joker 1 would have done badly if it was bad.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, but think of it this way. If Joker 1 had not done well financially, but was a great movie. Look at it this way. I'm gonna give you a good example. Dredd. Fantastic movie. Did horrible at the box office. We not getting no sequel.
Okay.
We're never gonna get a Dredd 2.
I'm just waiting for Alita Battle Angel 2.
We ain't getting that either. Well, I know Robert Rodriguez wants to do it, but I don't know if we're probably not gonna get another one. Even though same thing with Dredd. Fantastic. Probably the best ever we'll get from a non-2D anime adaptation. Probably going to be the last one we'll get ever.
Yeah,
realistically, but it didn't do great in the box office because it was niche, even though it was well received, well reviewed, well made.
There's tons of great movies that resonate well with audiences, that are well received with audiences, that are great movies, but they're not going to get sequels because they didn't make no money. The studio wants its money back.
I know mad people that love the Alita movie so much they went back and rewatched the series after never watching the original anime series.
That's the right way to do it, honestly. Like, what's another great movie that did horrible in the box office?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that we have to move forward.
All I'm saying is the same logic applies to games. Game studios ain't putting money in. Game studios ain't making sequels if the first one don't sell well.
So let's explore that a little bit more. And
normally, there are some rare cases.
Again, V, this is for you, letting you know that it's time. But so now we're going to move into how we define success in a market where sales numbers don't tell the whole story. That was why the movie thing was the perfect transition, because the numbers don't always tell the story. Like men lie, women lie, numbers don't, whatever the saying is. But in reality, even though the numbers aren't lying, they're not giving you the entire picture. So in a case like this, we just kind of wanted to figure out, like, with subscriptions, storefront exclusivity, cross-platform releases, like the modern play field is actually looking kind of different than what it used to. Like, if we go into like two of the most talked about releases recently, and we measure those forms of success. Number one, we can look at Assassin's Creed Shadows, like you said before. With Assassin's Creed Shadows, so for the player count, it surpassed 2 million players within launch week across the platforms. Like 2 million concurrent players launch week, right? It's the best opening for an Assassin's Creed title since Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That's crazy.
Like when it comes to sales. All right? On Steam, it peaked at 64,825 concurrent players, which is lower than all the previous Assassin's Creed entries. Basically Valhalla and Odyssey. So the player base is massive. Analysts argue that the game is underperforming on PC relative to its brand. Others highlight that things like, Ubisoft Plus, player count, console, are redefining what underperformance even means. So, like, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows with those kind of numbers. Can Ubisoft call it a failure?
No.
Remember that when Ubisoft released this game, they instantly sold off their three biggest IPs to their new branch off company.
I don't think you consider it a failure.
I mean, I don't think that it's considered a failure either, but I'm just saying that at this point, we have these kind of metrics, and it peaked at 64,000 concurrent players on Steam. Didn't even hit 100,000 concurrent players.
I don't think any of the Assassin's Creed ever did, though.
As far as I know.
But it could be said that this game is underperforming. But again, we don't have the Ubisoft Plus numbers. We don't have the PlayStation numbers. We don't have the Xbox numbers. We don't have whatever other platforms this is available on. We don't have the numbers.
So
that's for us. But analysts are saying that it underperformed.
So that's
what I mean by looking at the metrics. What does Ubisoft say?
Okay, so let's say this is not me throwing in the most expensive editions of these, right? I'm just going off a basic edition of it, right? And we're talking.
Well, we have to keep the playing field level.
Yeah, we're talking 2 million players, right?
Right.
So if that's correct, then it made at least $139 million, almost $140 million. Like I'm rounding, I'm gonna round up and just say $140 million, right? Now, what's the game's budget? Is the question. Like, what was their budget that they spent on the game?
So, are you saying that budget times revenue equals success? So if the game outsells what their budget was,
I think they expect a certain profit number to be deemed as a success by Ubisoft for them to consider doing something else in that franchise. I mean, I don't think Ubisoft or the company they sold off, the split off thing, whatever. I don't think we're not getting another Assassin's Creed game, but. I mean,
yeah, but again, it could take us some years to get another Assassin's Creed game because, again, that transition did when Ubisoft let go of their IPs like Rainbow Six Siege and Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, their three largest. Did they also release the studios with them?
I think they still own the studios, but the IPs are now accessible to.
But
this new thing that they're making that.
Yes, this branch off company is responsible for maintaining these games, updating these games, putting out expansions and DLCs. This new company, this brand new startup, that is partially, owned by Tencent is literally responsible for the 3 biggest titles that Ubisoft owned. Ubisoft just got to sit back and collect the money.
Not the worst thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the worst thing either, but what I'm saying is, did they rent out their studios? Did they let the teams go to this new startup? Like, what did they do? Because if you were already working on Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC or any kind of game expansion, or if you're already working on your next game, because remember that there were announcements for, what was it, another Assassin's Creed, probably like a mobile game or something crazy, but either way, I've heard something about other Assassin's Creed games. So if you have this going on, what does that mean? What does that mean for what you've already had established? Like, is this game considered a success? Is this and if it's considered a success, are you just kind of dumping off your assets?
I mean, I guess it depends on what's the bigger plan that they have. Like, we don't know if this has anything related to like the sales of the game, or this is something that was already in motion prior to.
I mean, obviously, it had to have already been in motion.
Because a lot of these mergers and
these things happen.
Deals,
they take time. Yeah.
Normally, these are things that have been that's been in the works like months ahead.
Right. Absolutely. Like I said, this
probably looks weird when it happens at the time it happens at.
Absolutely. Timing is a thing. All right, let's look at Doom: The Dark Ages, since we mentioned that before. So Doom: The Dark Ages hit 3 million players shortly after release. It was actually ID Software's most explosive player debut ever. Right? ID, whatever. Steam, it peaked at 31,470 concurrent players, and that was considerably lower than the 104K that Doom Eternal did. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But a large portion of the actual players came from Xbox Game Pass. And that sparked some concern from traditionalists about full price sales. Now, companies get a chunk of money from Xbox or from Microsoft for Game Pass or something like that. Like they get like either get percentage something.
But it's technically a first party publishing for them because they own Bethesda.
Right. But what I'm saying is, as far as the company is concerned, it being on Game Pass, people getting it on Game Pass and not buying it. Now, you're not looking at sales numbers. You're looking at times downloaded. You're looking at things like that. So what's your metric there? How are you determining success? Because are you making your money back for your budget? How? Game Pass works off of a subscription model.
That's what I kind of brought up before. Like, how many subscriptions did they get? Like, I'm sure they have like a window of time they look in like the first month. How many new subs did they get or resubs did they get from people who just had their account lapse when a new game comes out? But I don't think they're ever going to give us those numbers. Like, they're never going to tell us it's like, oh yeah, we had a million new Game Pass subscriptions on when Doom: The Dark Ages dropped.
Okay. They never give us the numbers on what's the their monthly revenue off of Game Pass. No one knows that.
Actually, I don't even think we know how many Ultimate Game Pass subscriptions are total. I don't think they've ever given that number.
No, I just know one. That's me.
Oh,
right? Yeah.
I don't have Ultimate, but I have.
Everybody was looking at me all expectantly. I'm like, duh.
Yeah, like most people I know that game on PC have Game Pass, but but there's also a lot of people like a lot of those same people. They're like, I'm not really playing anything on Game Pass, so they let it lapse. And then when something drops, they react.
Because I was also almost one of those people. I was going to just be like, you know what?
Because it's like, what's the point?
I'm not really playing anything right now.
Yeah,
so
like, Like, there's definitely months I forgot to renew it, and I didn't use my Game Pass for like 4 or 5 months, but they still got my money. I'm sure there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not a bad thing to just kind of leave on auto pay anyway, because like
I mean,
they
yes
give-
and no.
they've been
I mean, if you don't use it, you don't use it. I mean, but
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah,
money.
absolutely. So
they've been
when
dropping
it comes to the
bangers.
when it comes to the industry, there are some analysts and vocal players who claim that the series is declining despite having a super strong engagement. You know, because there's a disconnect between, you know, the new paradigms for success and legacy expectations. Sales. Remember, you said as long as you get the sales numbers, that was the old expectation.
I think the thing that gets me the most with going with the numbers thing for this, like the concurrent player count, is like, why do we care for single player games?
Yeah, that should only matter to live service games,
Right.
because live service games, their metric is how many people do we have playing our game. That's their concern. Their concern is how many people are playing our game, not how many people bought in. Especially if it's a free to play live service game, like Fortnite don't care, other than like how many people playing it and how much money are they spending on microtransactions. That's what they care about. Like how they care about live service cares about player retention. Non-live service cares about game sales.
Okay.
Usually.
Okay. So that brings me to our question. Are we too focused on where a game succeeds instead of how? As players.
I think so. I mean, no one used to care about this sort of thing when we were younger.
When we were younger, we didn't have access to any of these
Yeah.
numbers. The only thing we know was what they put on the cover of the game. 100 million sold or 6 million sold. 10 out of 10. Game of the Year award. 9 out of 10 here. Like they still use those awards and those ratings to sell games.
And it's sad, but it's sad though, because now it's like you can have a fire game, like an absolute fire game, and if someone comes in with the argument like, yeah, but it didn't sell well though, like, bro, what? Or they'll be like, no, but they're, there's only like 20,000 people playing it on Steam. Like that game's trash. What are we
Okay.
what are we talking about?
So, should subscription-based downloads be weighted the same as full price sales?
I think they do kind of consider it like that, right? Because in the Game Pass, I would say Game Pass's metrics have more to do with Game Pass retention plus new subscribers. That's their metric. Like, all right, how much money did we make off of Game Pass this month? How many people came by to play specifically that game? How long? How many people were playing that game?
That's a good point, Goji. He says, as players, no. Depending on how you game, you mainly care about how it's being supported. But that's the question. So how do they determine, where they need to support the game based upon subscription downloads rather than full price sales? He said it should not. Game Pass would highly inflate numbers. I agree, but I also don't know if, you know what I'm saying? Like we're determining success of a game. So if you got 5 million or 10 million or 100 million downloads, can you weight that the same as, hey, this is a full price sale? Like they got it from here. Like we got our money for these Game Pass, these Game Pass people. So, we got a contract with them. They're giving us a certain number. They're paying us a certain amount. Does that not equate to like a full price sale? At least in their eyes. They're looking at the numbers to see like where, would people have purchased this on a different platform? Because I mean, let's be honest. If it was Expedition 33 is $50 at full price.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Am I buying Expedition 33 on another platform that's not Game Pass, if I didn't already have Game Pass, yes, probably.
If it wasn't on Game Pass, I was gonna buy it anyway.
Like,
Same
am I
with Doom.
paying full price for Expedition 33? Not on Game Pass? Maybe.
Probably would if it wasn't available on Game Pass.
Huh?
I said I probably would if it wasn't available on Game Pass. I was
Would
going
I
to.
pay full price for
Oh,
Expedition?
you know.
Yes.
I didn't even listen.
Am I paying full price for Expedition 33? Maybe.
I didn't find out that Expedition 33 was on Game Pass until like the week it came out.
I mean,
Before that, I had already solidified that I was gonna get it.
but that's how I got it.
Like I was literally, no, he told me it was on Game Pass. I was getting ready to buy it, and he's like, "Yo, it's on Game Pass." I was like, "Wait, what?" That's how I ended up playing it.
That's another point. Millions of people have Game Pass. I've literally downloaded games on my PC just because it's on Game Pass and never touched it. It's just to have in my library. Same with some PlayStation Plus games.
Hey, listen, I got a whole bunch of books that I have not read yet that I've bought.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's a subscription service. So if they go with times downloaded and they use the download times as a metric, then now you're skewing the numbers because, like he said, the numbers would be inflated. But at the same time, are they looking at hours played? Like, what are they looking at here when it comes to Game Pass? Because Game Pass tells us how many hours we put into this game.
That's true.
What's the metric? How is this game successful? How do they know? If it was not offered anywhere but Game Pass, would it still be considered successful? Would it be a net loss for the company?
If it didn't do the numbers it did, not being on Game, like if it wasn't on Game Pass and it didn't do the numbers that it did, then yeah, it would probably be seen as like, well actually I don't know because it's not a huge studio, so like even if it only did half, I still think that would be a good outing for them. Like remember what was the first 2 days? It was like 500,000 players. For brand new studios, say like, oh, 250,000 people bought it. I think like relatively, yeah, that would still be a good launch.
A small studio, yeah, no, they've had probably one of the best launches.
I mean,
studio.
If Game Pass agreed to pay them what their budget was, maybe say 10% over their budget to make the game, that's a success already, right?
Yeah.
I do kind of wonder, like, what is the flat rate that they give these studios to have their games be day one on Game Pass? Like, it has to be like a cool couple mil. There's no way it's like, there's no way they're lowballing.
I don't know.
I thought there was an article about that a couple of years ago that Xbox put out about like how the break, but that's a couple of years ago, so it might have changed. Because I know like game, like because there's not like how Epic does stuff. I know they changed it last year where it's like the developer gets 100% of the sales on Epic Game Store until it reaches $1 million. And then Epic takes it.
Epic starts taking their cut.
Yeah.
All right. So is Steam concurrency still the gold standard for PC success?
No.
I don't think it ever was, but you know, I mean,
it isn't, but people like to use
the most successful games in the world, but like obviously besides like Steam ones, don't use Steam, like World of Warcraft, like the new Call of Duty, Diablo, League of Legends, Valorant. Like obviously Valve has and Steam has something like Counter-Strike and everything like that, but like it just like most of the other biggest games in the world don't use Steam. So
yeah,
by that logic, because I can't see the numbers, does that mean they're not doing good? Even though we know people are playing those games like hell.
I got some news that Coop might enjoy just now. Like it's just in. I heard that they buffed the monsters in Wild.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. Hold up.
I didn't hear about that.
This is what just came across my screen. So
I think
apparently
they title thing too.
Because a lot of people complained that Wild was too easy. The monsters were too weak. So if they start buffing monsters.
Oh, speaking of Monster Hunter, I gotta get that one. So you're telling me we could have had throwing hands with monsters this whole time with the Akuma update? We could have had that the whole damn time.
Yeah.
I said like
There's a moveset.
I know.
And then
Why?
there's
So,
literally
whenever-
like you can literally throw hands.
Whenever
with
next Mobster comes out, I want
you can Street
big ass
Fighter
gauntlet.
monsters now.
Whenever next
Just
Mobster,
give
I
me
want
some
big
fist
ass
weapons.
gauntlets because I want to throw hands for Rathalos. Not.
Why don't we have a fisticuffs weapon?
I wanted gauntlet
I'm
weapons
saying.
for like since Gen 2. Like, come on.
Okay. All right. So since we can't see the console metrics and you know metrics for console games, they aren't shared with the public. How do we know when a game is succeeding or failing on consoles? He said, so my health bar moves now. Hey, it might. This is something I heard. You might want to test it out. But how do we know if a game is succeeding or failing on console? What's up, Shmoney?
What up, Shmoney?
Welcome. Welcome.
That's a good ass question. Because
Do we care?
no,
I mean, I kind of care only for the sake of the matter that is this game going to continue to be supported? Is this game going to get a sequel? If I'm enjoying this game and I want another one, like, am I going to get another one? Is this going to be a one-shot fail? Like, you know what I'm saying?
you know
Unless
the
the
only
game-
the only company I've noticed over the years that actually gives numbers out like that, Square Enix.
Yeah.
They did it for Final Fantasy 16, Rebirth, 7 Remake. No one else put stuff out. Like Capcom didn't put out how many copies Street Fighter 6 sold. Bandai Namco didn't say how many copies Tekken 8 sold. NetherRealm never says Mortal Kombat Injustice sells. Like it's only certain studios that seem to give a shit, and it seems to only be Square Enix because they tell you they tell you the Tomb Raider numbers, they tell you the Hitman numbers, Final Fantasy numbers, like they tell you all of them.
I ain't gonna hold you to see some of them sales for like 16 and in like Rebirth. It's just like y'all don't deserve games sometimes. Like I ain't gonna hold you. Like some of y'all don't deserve games, bro. Like y'all don't even be supporting good shit. Like listen. I mean, we already got the numbers. We already got the numbers that have proven that people don't be buying new games. So like
Well, I was
There's
going to say
that.
shout out to JD for that information on Monster Hunter. So if that proves to be true, then I'm sure that'll be appreciated by a lot of people. You know, felt that the game was too easy. So let me ask
Look at that,
another special question. Do you care if a game is deemed successful?
Really, only if I want a sequel.
yeah, honestly, only if I want to see.
Otherwise,
So
like,
if you buy it and you're enjoying it, like you don't care if it was successful or not.
nah,
For instance, if you really enjoyed Suicide Squad, like you wouldn't care how much it sold or any of that.
That's different. That's a live service game. So I would care if it's a live service game. If it's not a live service game, I don't care.
I don't know. Let's ask Rajan. Does it matter?
I mean, I still kind of just go back to my point. Like, it depends on the game. Like, if let's say it's a good one-shot game that's not tied to a franchise, or something like that, I would like it to do well because, like when give an example when Ori and the Blind Forest first came out, Moon Studios did it because at the time, super unknown. I love Metroid.
War of the Wisps.
Yeah. When it did real good, and I was like, because I love Metroidvania games. I said a bunch of times on the show, I'm like, damn, that was great. I like want to see more from this studio. But like that's and stuff like that. It's like if a game really hit me like that I really want to see more from them. That's when I care if a game's successful. Like as far as single player, but like if it's a live service game, I'm enjoying a lot. Like Marvel Rivals, like I don't too many games have been coming out past a week, so I've been slacking on my playing a little bit. But I still want that game to be successful because I want to see more characters of it. And I like what they're doing with the game. But yeah, it really depends on how much I enjoy the game. I think. Like if I play the game and I was like, maybe y'all don't. Maybe y'all should make another game. Like
Yeah.
like I feel like it was that bad. I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna say like I hope for your failure, but it's just like maybe another hobby, maybe another profession is what y'all need to do. I'm like let's keep it real.
Coop said Suicide Squad was so bad, and Goji Senpai said that he enjoyed Fallout 4, but most didn't.
Fallout 4 is fine.
Like, do you guys have any trash games that you find fun and played for a while or still play now?
Like trash games, like
Trash
it's
games,
subjectively
like,
like
if
it's a
you
bad
like
game.
trash games, like Like
My
King Kong trash, like
arguably
Gollum trash.
my other favorite game done by Obsidian Studios is Alpha Protocol, and I think that's one of the best action RPG games to come out. That's super underrated, but it did terribly. But
no. He means trash. Like it's bad.
Oh, bad. Like I thought you meant like no. He's also added did bad, not just.
Oh,
trash.
I thought you meant like the game was bad. Like
did bad. Did bad.
Did bad.
This guilty pleasure game.
Yeah, Alpha Protocol's super up there. Like I think that's a great game, but if you look at the reviews and the sales, didn't do nothing.
Yeah. Let me think of one.
Okay. What about you?
Also, I mean, it did get a PC port. Like I love Days Gone when it came out, but when that game first came out,
Goji Senpai said, "Transition to trash games after talking about Fallout 4 is disrespectful." I'm. You want me to be honest?
That didn't do well.
Fallout 4, I fell into a crack after putting like 20, 30 hours into the game, and all of my saves are pretty much bricked into that crack. So it was either start the game all over again or just never play it again. And I chose the latter.
That didn't do well.
Anyway.
Street Fighter 5 do well?
Yes.
Street Fighter 5 eventually did well. Launch was a mess because it didn't even have story mode.
Right.
I mean, I did enjoy the launch.
This guy series, yeah, that whole series is great, but it's niche, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, well.
Yeah.
This guy is good.
But they're cheap to
it's
make.
just niche.
But the
I
budget
think they
is so
already
low for this.
know. Like I'm literally sitting here looking at this guy at 7, but I think they literally know what they're aiming at.
Also, the
think,
budget's low enough for they can keep on putting out more games.
Yeah, like they don't. Yeah, like you know what I mean.
Damn, I'm trying to think.
I mean,
Anyway, we'll get back to it, Hustle. Don't break your brain.
No recent one, RoboCop.
Wait, RoboCop didn't sell well?
No, we did not.
Oh, I enjoyed RoboCop.
RoboCop,
Great game.
Yeah. That did not. Well, because it came out $60. I'm like, yo, like I love me RoboCop.
It's
$60 RoboCop game in 2024.
For something that people don't even know what it is anymore.
If
Like
that,
if you weren't born in the 80s and 90s, you don't know what RoboCop is, because when is the last time we had anything RoboCop relevant? And then on top of that, even if we got a new RoboCop movie, how would they make it interesting? Like, what would make people care?
because they screwed that remake up. Oh my god!
I think a game that eventually another honorable mention for a game that did not do well at launch, but eventually people figured it out was good was the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah.
Nobody gave
Well,
that
the only
game a
reason
shot.
that didn't do well was because they were coming off of the back of the Avengers game.
Yep. That's what sabotaged. If they,
And the Avengers game did not. Yeah, that was almost self-sabotage because it was a team style. It was thought to be the exact same style of game. So
what's
it was
crazy now
just
though?
a bad time.
What's crazy now though is you got people who are like, damn, maybe Avengers wasn't that bad. Like I'm legitimately seeing people comment on like people playing the Avengers game and you're like, yo, what's this game? Like,
Yeah, I've actually been seeing weird, like, it's the kind of thing with the Anthem thing. I've been seeing people live streaming the Avengers game on TikTok. I'm like,
it's like a weird resurgence of it. And
Like,
people
what?
are
Sky
liking it.
is a guilty pleasure of mine. I'll always find a way to bring it up. No Man's
What
Sky
is-
is a success story now. So
yeah, that's considered a good game now. But yeah, obviously
That's
that
rags to
the
riches.
first year and a half, 2 years is like, that was
yeah,
rough.
like that's a rags to riches style of thing. They didn't care how
Ooh.
much money they lost. They just was gonna keep on doing it anyway.
I got one. Sonic 3D Blast.
Okay,
That game
so
was that game did not sell well. It was not well received, but I enjoyed it.
I think Midnight Suns was received well enough for the audience that it was directed to.
Yeah. I don't think
But Marvel Midnight Suns is also a game I love.
Actually, yeah, what is Sonic 3D Blast on Sega Saturn?
All right, well, let's
That was
transition
on-
over because we only have 12 minutes.
That was on Genesis.
It was on Saturn too.
Yeah, they ported the Genesis later. But go on.
He
Joe.
said, "Are you loon?" Loon, you might have to make your presence known in the chat, bro.
Wait, who's he saying that to?
He's asking Goji if he's Loon.
Oh,
Because they like the same games. Loon does have a you might want to get in there, Loon. Anyway, I just wanted to ask a couple more questions, just before we close out, because there's just a couple things we can have a little bit more good conversation. But we talked about metrics and company expectations, but what do the players expect?
There's Loon. Pop it up in the chat. Sorry, what was the question? Yeah, I saw Loon pop up and distract.
Oh, okay. I said we talked about metrics and company expectations, but what do the players expect?
good game that's heavily supported.
Okay.
That's it. Like a good game that's heavily supported and at least, depending on what it is, a decent price.
Okay. So, okay, what do you consider a good game?
Like as in,
I'm looking for
like,
a word.
Fun.
There you go.
Fun.
There you go. Fun. Fun. The players have fun.
I thought you were going trick question. I thought you were going trick question. I'm not gonna lie.
No. Fun. Fun.
A fun
Like
game.
how much fun you have is probably, as a player, the most important thing in any game. To me.
Bro,
To me.
Listen, that's how I gauge Monster Hunter fights, on how fun they are. If I'm not having fun during that fight, I will not fight that monster.
I mean, you could be Coop and gauge it on how much your health bar moves.
That's
How
his,
many times you
his
get
version of
carded,
fun.
how many, how many.
There's a reason why. Listen, there's a reason why Val Hazak. Listen, there's a reason why in World Val Hazak has like less than like 10 slays from me. I hated that fight. That fight was trash. It wasn't
Stupid
fun.
dragon.
Yeah, that was a dumbass fight.
I was like, I don't want to do this ever again. I'm good.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think the players use to determine whether they should buy a game or not?
These days,
Okay. How about
whether or
this?
not their favorite YouTuber likes it.
Do streamers play a part in game sales?
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
They do heavily.
And yet, these streamers are out here struggling to make a buck half the time.
I'm about to say, which ones are we talking here?
The ones like you and me.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, we're not
Point, man.
influential. We're not influential yet. But
Yeah, but
influencers.
how do you get to be to the point where you're an influencer? You feel me? Exactly. You gotta go through the struggle phase first. It's like when you grow locks and you
Struggle
go through
and
the ugly
discovery
phase.
and audience retention. And hey, by the way, guys, if you share
Research,
this with your friends
effort.
and
Consumers use word of mouth and reviews. Yeah, that's true. And I think that reviews are a big part of it, because there have been games that I have read reviews and seen review videos of, and oh, this game got a 9. All right. I was kind of interested in it, but I didn't know how it was gonna be. But now that it got a 9, I'm gonna go get it. We've all had those moments.
yeah.
Yeah.
But nowadays that doesn't really, well, outside of us, because we're like kind of old, not old school, but like because we're in a community with each other, we can be like, yo, you should check this out, or you should check this out. Let's be real, a lot of the younger crowd now, they don't have, I don't want to say it. They don't have friends. They don't have friends that can be like, yo, what game do you recommend? Like, a lot of them get their opinions now from like YouTubers. Bad to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that will literally, like, it seems like their entire taste or their person, like, methods are live or die by certain streamers' opinions.
Yeah.
True.
And it sucks. I hate that, man. Like, I don't want anyone who watches us to feel the same way. Like, yeah, we can give you suggestions and all that, but please make your own decisions on what you want to play. We might like a game that you might not like. You might like a game that we don't like. Some of us, and even amongst ourselves, we don't. Oh, here we go. God damn it, yo! Don't listen to his opinion. He don't finish games anyway. No. Don't listen to his opinion. He don't finish games. His opinion don't count. It don't matter. When he finishes, no, it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't. When he finishes games, that's when his opinion will matter.
Damn.
You don't want
Get
to
a load of this guy.
games.
Just because I don't finish games doesn't mean my opinion doesn't matter. That I'm well versed and I have a ton of gaming experience. Because I don't finish games, I actually have experience in playing over 500, 600 different types of games. So I am Mr. Demo Man himself. I know what I enjoy. Doesn't mean that I actually have to finish them.
I will be like, well, I played 10 minutes of this game. Here's my review.
If a game is bad in 10 minutes, the game is bad.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Be honest. And so usually that will tell. Okay, V, you're not kidding. You're not kidding.
Oh God.
I'm not going to tell people to work 2 jobs to play Black Sheep. That's not on me. I'm not assuming
Got your
responsibility.
regular game of money, and then you got your TCG money.
No, I'm not going to tell nobody to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get that man hooked.
Yeah,
Okay?
you did.
That was Animal. That's still all Animal.
Ugh.
The man I got hooked on certain gacha games was Token.
Wow, that's even worse.
Because he is still over there playing Wuthering Waves. Since day one, since the day I recommended that game to him. Trapped.
I didn't play because it just looked like Genshin. I was just like, this is just Genshin.
Genshin with grown-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even get that far in
that's the important
Genshin.
part. That's the important part. Genshin with grown-ups.
I
This
wouldn't know
way
what
you
the
don't-
cast looks like in Withering Waves, so
Grown up. They don't look
That's
like
good.
children. Genshin, they all look like kids.
yeah, no, that is wild.
Exactly.
Weird.
You know what? You're right, Coop. He said Tona try anything where he don't have to go pick up his souls.
Yeah.
Time says, I'm starting to play it now. It's better than Genshin.
All right.
See? Tone got the recommendations. Oh, they
I mean,
also
I
did
do
just
like-
revamp some systems in Wuthering Waves. So right now, everyone is on Wuthering Waves 2.0. And people who are playing it now are saying that they actually massively improved the game. So if you are going to try it, now probably is a good time to attempt to do so.
I do like
But I'm not paid by Wuthering Waves, and they don't give me a little cut of the gotcha money. So, so if a game got a really good review but you didn't enjoy it, does it make you lose trust in the reviews, or do you just go to another source?
wait, what?
If there was a game that got put out, all right, remember how, you know, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare got like a 9 out of 10,
Mm-hmm.
and the people did not agree?
Some people actually do like.
Do you just go to another source for, you know, opinions?
I don't know, man. People be
If
like,
I told you to go play this game because I thought that you would enjoy it, I wouldn't say that it was a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a number.
I would rather-
If I told you to go play a game and you didn't enjoy it at all,
but that's the
you'd
thing.
be like,
though.
I'm never going to listen to him again.
That's the thing, though. Like, there's been times where people are just like, "Well, I don't like this game," and I'm just like, "I like it." So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I just go by. Man, listen. If it looks like something that's interesting to me, I'm gonna play it. I don't really care what the opinions are, as long as the game isn't broken, like gameplay broken. I'll probably give it a shot.
Yeah. And so, like, when I recommend stuff to people, I usually recommend things to people to whom I think that it would fit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that, no shade, I know that Token likes free games. So if I find a free game that gets my attention for 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to recommend him to play said free game. I know
You do not have to add that in. You do not have to add that in. It's so unnecessary.
Right?
Oh my god. This is so unnecessary.
Why did you drag him like that?
I didn't drag him.
Yes,
He was
you
just
did.
dragging the tag.
You were like, no shade, but he likes.
I didn't drag him, he drug himself.
He was just dragging the tag. That I'm not. That's crazy.
Oh,
That's
God.
not.
Y'all called him broke. You called him broke.
I never said.
I
never used that word. I never called him broke. I said he likes free games.
Bro,
Why
who's
you
nigga
add
always
that-
gonna think?
No, not even that. Okay. What was the point of the no offense?
Because I stated somebody likes free games.
Did you
The
think
first thing that people automatically do, oh, you calling me cheap? No.
No, you thought none of
I
us-
noticed that you have a pattern of liking free.
No, you
free
thought neither of
games.
us. No, you thought neither of us was gonna catch that, but I'm paying attention. I'm
You all right?
Dag, poor token. Even when he's not here, he can't get away from layaway accusations.
You're a broke boy.
Time
just
called
throw
it the
that
layaway
at
special.
Oh my god.
But I'm just saying that if there's a game that I feel is worth more than like 5 minutes, has kind of that woo-wah feel and whatever, and I just I'll recommend it to him. Like I know that that's up his alley. You know what I'm saying? If there's a game that's either a Souls like that can be broken, if it's a decent fighter with good code,
Is that up his alley on Broke Boy
if-
Avenue?
or if if there's a fighter or a game that's designed to wreck you, then that's what I'll give the coop. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's a mobile gacha game that has builds in it. I'll
Oh
give
my
it
god.
Coop
This
has
so
been-
ain't
because he likes
podcast.
to strategize. He likes to build. He likes to work on stuff like that. If there's I don't know. I don't really know what to recommend to Loon right now because if it's not Destiny, he's not playing it. That's how it
You
feels.
could have said all that instead.
I mean, you should.
How both of y'all gonna say did we put token on layaway?
I didn't put token anywhere.
Oh my
He's
god.
he's a special guest star. He don't show up all the time. Yikes! I hope he got a keyboard on layaway. Is wild. Yeah. So,
Put himself on layaway. Oh my god.
now, how do we do our research when buying games? Like we look at reviews, we watch streams, we look at trailers, we watch things like the video game awards and things of that nature. So there's plenty of different information out there in order for us to kind of assess
Demos is another thing.
whether we're
Demos
getting our
barely
money
exist anymore.
or whether we're getting something that we think is going to be worth our money when we spend money. I don't know about you guys, but I have a tendency to buy games off feeling. So like I can see a trailer and be like, I'm copping it.
Yeah, I typically do that
The
too.
same way.
If it's something that grabs me in the
You know what
trailer.
I'm saying? And I know that's something that was commonly done in the past by a few people, especially people who love games, especially when it came to physical games and like actually having to go out and buy the discs. But
Or the cartridge, and you just look at the game box and be like, yeah, I'm
Right.
copping that.
right when you in the store, you like,
Yeah,
yo, this look good.
definitely just some box art, some games got me.
Yeah.
No.
So, now we're gonna leave off with this question for the audience. With everything that we've said today, what makes games good? What makes games enjoyable? What metrics people use in games? At the end of the day, what would you consider a waste of money when you buy your game? hit us in the comments, hit us in the Discord, you know, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We have it all, but we definitely want to hear your answers. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with that, and we're going to let you work on it, okay? So, as you already know, if there's ever anything that you want to do, sometimes all you got to do